Hello, everyone. Hi, good evening, good night, good morning, and good afternoon.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hi. This is Mindy Lee from XGRIDS, and today we have Jasper. Today's our topic. This webinar is a serious webinar of the 3D Gaussian splatting, and we've already have 8 of them. And today's topic is about that, like the 3D visualization for the heritage and cultural preservation and historic building. And today it's our honor to have Jasper here, and he is a very professional reality capture specialist. And Jasper, would you say hello to everybody?
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, also a sentence or two to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I was just kidding. So my name is Jasper van der Klooster, and I work for InformARbv, which is a company that captures 3D digital twins, and we also sell a lot of scanners. And since recently, we also sell. We're a reseller for XGRIDS in the Netherlands.
Yes, thank you. And then before we go into the presentation, here is a very brief background introduction. So as we know, preserving cultural heritage is no longer just about that documenting data points. It's about transforming those points into immersive or explorable 3D worlds, or that 3D visualization that allows us to experience the history, learn from it, and protect it for generations to come. Today, we'll be diving into how high fidelity point cloud or 3D Gaussian splatting visualization, this new technology, can come together in a single unified workflow or use different ways to do so, making it impossible to capture, process, and share historic site with stunning realism and efficiency. We are honored to have with us Jasper, a pioneer, and he is also coming from that InformAR, as he mentioned, a pioneer. The company is a pioneer in advanced 3D capture and the visualization. He will share in his insights and the live demonstration or some case showing how next generation spatial data can bring heritage architectures to life like never before. And later on, I will also have a presentation to talk about my experience in these fields. I will also share several cases, and we would also like this one as a very active and dynamic one. So if you have any questions, or the audience, if you have any questions or comments or an insight you want to share, please leave the questions in the comment area, and we will answer them after the presentation session, and try to answer all of them. And we will also have a short panel discussion. So firstly, let me give the mic to Jasper. He will have a very great introduction and case sharing today.
Great. Well, thank you for having me. Let me share my screen first. Here we go. So, I already mentioned that I work for InformARbv, and my name is Jasper, so let's skip that part because that's not very interesting. I have been scanning 3D since 2017, using all sorts of different scanners for companies big and small. So here you see a little part of my journey and how I got here. I have a big personal interest in both 3D and historic buildings. And that last part might be because my last name translates to monastery. If you translate it from Dutch to English, it actually says monastery, which is a historic building in most cases. Or maybe it's because my father was a history teacher and he's a renowned storyteller. So all I know is these old buildings really speak to me, and always have and always will. And the Dutch, of course, have beautiful buildings in our country. So why is documenting important? Well, in the Netherlands here, we want to keep the monuments alive. It's all about preserving their condition, preserving knowledge, the stories that are told there, preserving the historical details, and sharing, because you want to share these things. And that's also difficult in some cases because you can't really put an elevator in an old castle like that. So some people with disabilities are not able to go to all the monuments. And by creating a digital twin, you, well, give them access as well. In some cases, you can really see the layers of time in all the historic buildings. You can see the repairs are done with different kinds of bricks, or in some cases, you can even see that there has been added to buildings over the years. It's been built in a different century. You can see it by the color of the brick and all the different kinds of materials that have been used in the construction. And that's something that is really difficult to capture when it comes to two-dimensional photos. It also has all sorts of problems. There's lens distortion, for one. There's only one point of view. You can't really measure anything on a 2D photo. It's missing a context most of the time. If you create a big archive, you probably need thousands of photos. And how are you going to add all this metadata to those photos? And then after a while, you need to retrieve that one photo that really captures what you want to say. And that can be very, very hard. So it's difficult to understand or preserve a building if you only use 2D photos and a text report to go with it. And then, of course, there are point clouds, and they are amazing because it gives us the possibility to measure and to understand the building in 3 dimensions. But it's called a point cloud for a reason. It has that see-through effect because there's just some information missing. It's not the best tool to visually capture a space and a monument. And on top of that, a point cloud is made up of so much data that it's very hard to work with. You need a high-end PC to even look at them, which makes sharing very difficult and hard. And then there's Gaussian splats that are coming. And a Gaussian splat basically, in my opinion, takes the visuals of a point cloud to the next level. And instead of a tiny dot with a color, which represents a coordinate on the XYZ axis, the dot now gets volume. It gets a shape, color, and orientation. And coming together, it's a photorealistic presentation of a space. Creating a Gaussian splat was notoriously difficult and time-consuming. You needed so many overlapping photos, and it's complicated software to get it running. And after you've processed all those photos, sometimes you find out that you forgot a piece and the end result is incomplete. But that's no longer necessary because now you have the portal cam. The portal cam is easy to use. It's very lightweight, and you get so much value for your money. You can operate portal cam from your smartphone using the LCC scan app. You can simply hold the device in your hand and walk through the space that you want to capture. You can see on the screen of your phone what you've captured, so you know exactly which areas still need some attention to get a complete full picture. It's also very easy to transfer the data from the device to your computer. It simply has a USB connection. You can transfer the data, and it's easy. No problem whatsoever. I'm sorry, I went too quick. The great thing is the data is all stored locally, processed locally, so you don't need the cloud if you don't want to, which is great if you have something that's private. The portal cam is a LiDAR system. Like I said, it has a range up to 30 meters. Like I said, it's lightweight, and the battery lasts for about 60 minutes when you are continuously scanning. The data is quick with the USB 3 connection. It has 512 gigs of RAM and storage, and a Wi-Fi connection as well. when you process the data, you can do that with the LCC Studio. So you don't really need a lot of high-end knowledge on how to operate software. Basically, you just select the folder you want to process, and the software does the rest. And then what's most important is what's the result. So here I have a video. I took this. This is from the city where I live, Amersfoort. And I took a stroll just through the streets. And this is the end result, which is, I think, pretty amazing, knowing it only took me 10 minutes to scan this. And you really have a photorealistic view of the street. Yeah, we're not going there. But there you go. This is it. If you want to see for yourself, you can scan the QR code or start typing the URL in your own browser. And you can see a scan I made. This is the oldest cafe in the city where I live, Amersfoort. It's from 1542, so centuries old, and it's always been a cafe. Because seeing is believing. So the main advantages are that you can process and store your data locally. There is a cloud solution if you need it, so you don't have to invest in a very heavy computer. You have full freedom of movement. I know there are other scanner solutions that allow you to move from image to image, but this one really has a full freedom of motion. It's very, very detailed. You can really capture the details you need, the historic details, and the data is very lightweight on your system. So the URL I just showed, if you just look at it on your phone, that's also possible. You don't need a high-end 3D system. And because it's so light, it's also very useful to view this in VR and AR, which is, of course, a very immersive way to experience a room. And the technology is still improving. It's still quite young, and I see that still, file sizes are coming down, quality is coming up. So it has a lot of room for, it has a very bright future, in my opinion. So a long story short, the future of capturing history is bright. There are obviously a lot of other use cases as well. If you want to teach history, for research, for tourism, because in some cases, it's not good for a monument. If a lot of people are accessing it, it will just degrade. So you can keep a lower visitor count if it's just delicate. It can be used for storytelling, city planning, and so much more. Ooh. Here we go. I wanted to play that movie. Once again, a short video from the city where I live. This is called the Koppelpoort, and it's a medieval gateway that people used to use to enter the city. And the video has also been made in the LCC Studio software, so that's a big bonus. Well, I have a feeling that I was rushing through this at an immense speed. So I'm sorry for that. I think I'm still in under 10 minutes, and I thought it should be like 20 minutes, but here we are. If you want to get in touch, feel free to reach out. If you have any questions, my contacts are here on the screen. And I think I will give the mic back to Mindy.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you for this presentation. And would you please share that QR code of the real life demo again? I suppose that many of the users want to experience the scene by themselves. I think that one is really a great one, which make this quite interactive.
Share. Let me find it real quick.
Yes, and when you find that, let me choose several questions. Yeah, let me choose several questions in the comment area. Yeah, this one. And yeah, for all the audience, you can scan this QR code so that you can use your like mobile phone browser to navigate freely into this case, which is a very interactive experience. And then let's choose several questions to answer. As for your experience about that point clouds, I suppose that several of the people that may ask this one from Jordan, what's the level of accuracy, point cloud density, deformation, and wrapping?
Right. Could you get that for me, Mindy? Because
yeah, I already put this in the here so you can see this, Jordan, in the banner area. Could you see this question here?
Let's see. I'm still new to this software. Sorry.
I put this into the screen. The question is that what is the level of accuracy, point cloud density, deformation, and warping? So I suppose that today's your case is much more about the 3D Gaussian splatting. But how about your previous experience? What's the level of accuracy that heritage preservation may require? I suppose he might ask this kind of thing.
Right. So I'd say the more accurate, the better. The thing is, it's always a balance in how fast are you scanning. Are you, this obviously is a scanner that you use in your hand, and your motion is being, it's being corrected as you walk. I'm not exactly sure. I really have to get back to you on the exact numbers. I don't know them by heart. We've been an XGRIDS reseller now for, I don't think we're even 2 months. So we're in it too short to know this by heart. I'm sorry.
Yes, to answer this question, actually XGRIDS have like different models for the scanners and the different point clouds outputs. The Alexo serial scanner, the L2 Pro, we have like 16 channel and 32 channels. So they have different scanning rates for that points per second. And the 16 channels we will have 320,000 points per second, and 16.2 channels will 340,000 points per second. And K1 is relatively compact, and it has like more than 200,000 points per second. And these days, PhotoCAN is designed for that 3D visualization. Is mainly for the 3D Gaussian splatting. Though at this moment, many of you may ask whether PhotoCAN outputs point cloud. The question, the answer is no at this moment. I must say. And then let's move on to the next question. For the CT scan, did you capture it from multiple height? I think one is refers to your experience about heritage scanning.
Right. It helps. It helps if you scan on different heights. It gives a more complete picture. So with the cafe you have on your screen right now, I really did walk around with my hand raised completely to the top. I didn't have an extension pole with me, but I was able to capture pretty well, pretty decently.
Yeah, great. And for me, as the answer is yes as well. So for Gaussian splatting, these kind of technology, we need to make more overlap with different heights and angles, so that better overlap you will have better result. Even though
Yes.
PhotoCAN is relatively convenient and compact device for this kind of capture things. And if you want to get the quick one, you just hold the PhotoCAN and work like the one turn. And if you want to have a better scans with more details, always we will plan the roads for multiple returns or from different angles and heights. That do help.
Yes.
And another question is what is the recommended PC hardware that you use to process your LCT splats?
Well, I use a laptop with a RTX 4080 video card and 64 gigs of RAM.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need an NVIDIA graphics card to begin with, and the more
Mm-hmm.
RAM you have, basically the bigger space you can process.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. And for me, my laptop is RTX 3060, and actually, yeah, I think it's good enough for processing. But if you have better graphic card, you will have a quicker processing time. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. And another one from our old friend, Dr. Lucas. What would be your top scenarios for using a PhotoCAN over other methods like 360 cameras or just a bunch of photos? I have been using PhotoCAN for almost 2 months now. Happy to hear you take on that.
It's good to hear you also have your experience with the portal cam.
Mm-hmm.
And well, a bunch of photos. I don't think that's a very easy workflow. Like I said, there's always something that you're missing when you're taking separate images. So I don't think that's the easiest way to go. The portal cam makes it really convenient and easy to capture a Gaussian splat
Mm-hmm.
in comparison to other workflows. Um, Scenarios like and 360 images. We also use a scanner which uses 360 images combined with lidar scanning, and well, the only upside to that is that I could scan a larger area with that. And for the portal cam, it's like I can scan for maximum half an hour, and then it's just so much data that it's hard to process for now.
Yeah. Yeah, so as for me, I also try different like methods to do the reality capture. 360 cameras is very convenient because it's very small, very easy to carry,
For
but
sure.
it performs not so well in some large scale cases, especially with those with complicated structure or staircase or some corridors. Those parts may make some blur area of the Gaussian splats. And about that bunch of photos, if you want to take photos with DSLR cameras or your cell phone, you need to like cover all the areas with photos by photos. So that one really exhausting. And still, the pipeline is not so smooth with all these kind of capture devices, I suppose.
True. And
Yeah.
the portal cam is not that heavy as well. It's not not even a kilogram. I mean, I can easily carry it for 15 minutes or whatever length you want to scan for.
Yeah, and even for a girl like me, I can hold a photo can like 1 hour. Yeah, and another question: does 3DGS perform consistently on large building facades and the tiny sculpture details?
Yeah. What can I say? If you are capturing a building, an historic building, and you get up close, you will capture more detail. Basically, I wouldn't get closer than say 10 centimeters. I'd say that's the minimum. But then you will capture like the small cracks and the details of the bricks, etc.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and yeah, it depends on how you do the scan. And if you want to scan in an easy way, we only use a one turn to get a general environment. But if you want to get specific details, we may use that PhotoCAN to get close to that sculptures or some specific areas to get more details. Yeah,
Yes.
so that's about the scanning techniques. And thank you for answering this part's question. And let's move on to the next part. And I will give you a presentation about my experience and here my insights about how 3D visualization can be applied in heritage and historic building. Let me present. Okay. Yes. Yes, as you know that XGRIDS is a manufacturer of the mobile scanners and not only the point clouds, but also some new ways of the 3D visualization. And today, when it comes to that heritage preservation, firstly, we try to talk about that, what's the value and challenges about the heritage and 3D visualization. First is that the cultural preservation and 3D visualization will have a long-term value for that preservation value. And then we also use this kind of thing to do the history education. And this kind of content can also make new content creation, and some interactive experience can also be created with the heritage and the cultural and historic building. But these days, we still have some challenges, such as that for some heritage and historic building, we may have limited accessibility, and it always have complex conditions. And sometimes the point clouds, meshes, 360 videos, photos, and 3 Gaussian splatting today. So all the data are quite fragmented with different kinds of workflows and pipelines. People are very hot to visualize all different kinds of perspective for one time. And we also have some visualization gap because mesh is good was good before, but it's very hard to share. So that today we also see some limitation of the existing 3D visualization tools. Firstly, is about the 2D presentation we used before. We use that photos or inconsistent photos, so that we cannot imagine the whole 3D structure and space in a good way. And sometimes people may also use that manual modeling, some software like 3D Max, to do that recreation or representation of the cultural heritage. But it's quite low fidelity with high cost, and its pipeline is relatively complex. And even though the photogrammetry has developed for nearly 10 years and it's getting mature and matured, however, sometimes it lacks of details and very hard to refine, especially with some complex structures. It will not perform well. And we also have some panoramic video to make that whole space into 360 virtual tour thing. However, it's not real 3D. It's still limited by the spot that photographer taking the photos and the video. It's there with no real interaction and a less accurate measurement. And then so that we have 3D Gaussian splatting and new ways of represent reality. So this kind of thing try to bring in clarity and consensus between the field and office. So from the field, we can use the mobile scanners or different kind of ways to do the mobile scanning, and then bring it very easily to the office, and not only to preserve them, but try to edit them and integrate them into different pipelines. And here's the thing that my team and I captured with different areas around the world. And we tried to carry out simplified 3D modeling solution. So the concept is that one scan, you get different data sets, point clouds and 3D Gaussian splatting. So for those who still use point clouds or mesh, or even mesh for their traditional pipelines, people can use that Lexo serial scanners and this days PhotoCAN to do the data scanning. And then we have like different software to do the data processing. The Lexo Studio is much more for that point cloud processing software. And Lexo Cybercolor is much more for 3D Gaussian splatting. So I know that some of you in the comment area want to know that whether the solution can output point clouds. The answer is yes, that Lexo L2 Pro and K1 can output very good point clouds. For those who want accurate, high definition point clouds for that measurement purposes and preservation purposes. And LCC, the Lexo Cybercolor, is much more for a 3D visualization solution, which is very easy to use and for that 3D representation. So after that data processing, we may also have the data to be applied into various pipelines. So that's why we try to bring about different plugins and SDK for the mainstream developing platforms such as the WebGL, Unreal Engine, Unity, Season for some large-scale cases and geospatial purposes, and Autodesk for some tools like the AutoCAD and Revit. And these days, we also provide a solution for Vision Pro. And here's the spatial modeling workflow. Like firstly, we use that spatial camera for mobile scanning. Yes, people can use the scanner to move around and get data captured. And then all the processing are automatically happened in local PC. And then you can experience in the multiple devices. As just now Jasper mentioned, he has already shared a link that you can interact with freely. And you can also put that output into the VR headset to get a more immersive one. Then here is the workflow to capture a 200 square meter area. It only takes you like 15 minutes. And it's model generation within 5 hours. And to walk, to generate, and then you can do the editing, sharing, and if you have some backgrounds and knowledge about the integration and developing, you can also adopt that SDK for further developments. So here are some like the multiple accessories to let people adapting the solution into different versatile environments. For example, in this case, we have a very tall sculpture. And if you just take photos, it may take you like hours to do the capturing. However, we use PhotoCAN and with an extension pole so that you can also make it in different heights in a very easy way. And even the L2 Pro and K1 has weight like 1.9 kilogram, 1 kilogram, and PhotoCAN is 800 gram. So we also provide like the harness system to help you and your team to do the scan in a more easier way. And somebody may ask whether the data can be combined from the sky and ground. Yes, the answer is yes, that we provide the function of the area ground map fusion so that we can use the drone to take photos and capture data from the air and use the Lexo Sierra scanner and PhotoCAN to capture data from the ground and inside part. And this case is another case that our partner have a project in Egypt. So he also used different like the accessories to do different heights. And what about the output? We call it quite ready to use output. Even though these days there are more and more 3D Gaussian splatting solutions in the market, but very few of them can output ready to use or production ready data. For example, these kind of things to very specific details in a museum is a sculpture in the museum, Cambodian museum. And we can not only to capture the whole environment, but very detailed sculpture specifically. So with this one, you can use two different ways to do so. First is that if you have PhotoCAN, we have like two front eyes to capture the details. So the first round, you walk around to get a whole environment. And the second round, we put that PhotoCAN closer to the details that you want to capture so that you get more detailed. And another way is that to use the Lexo Sierra scanners with HD enhancement functions. That function means that we can combine additional photos or data source together to have better result. For example, we can scan the whole structure with Lexo L2 or K1 and then use your phone or DSLR camera to capture specific area. and make all the data sets input into the LXO Studio, LCC Studio. So all the processing will happen automatically with this. So this case is captured by LXO L2 and Android phone. Yes, we combine Android phones photos with L2 Pro to make this kind of quality. And then we also have the function of cross-scale coverage. So from the objects to blocks, from the ground to the air, we can also combine the data from drone with the handheld scanner together. And with the help of the LiDAR, so as you know that we combine the LiDAR with the visual sensor together to do the 3D Gaussian splatting. These days, most of the solution in the markets are only like vision-only data source. So that if we go to some dim light area or high reflective surfaces or some very complicated cases, the data just have distortion or some misalignment. But the system try to make it much more like robust and reliable, even in some dim light areas and the highly reflective, such like this one is a very big mirrors. And our algorithm would also enable you to rip out all the moving people. For example, this case is in a very popular temple in Japan, in Tokyo. And at that time, we captured the temple. The streets is crowded with many people, but we just walk around and the algorithm just rip out that people automatically. And as for an ideal environment, you can get into the heritage or some historic building without any people moving there. However, in most of the cases or projects that we must scan with many of the people around you. And for the storing purposes, mesh and point clouds are very big and hard to share. So that for 3D Gaussian splatting solution, we try our best to compress the file size. So compared to the conventional or the mainstream Gaussian splatting formats, we try to compress it or reduce its file size by 90%. And so other than the output, some creators or regarding the cultural preservation and heritage sites, they may also want to make it much more clean and ready to use for different kinds of application. So we also try to support flexible tools and a seamless pipeline. So firstly, we can do measurement based on that Gaussian splatting, just because that the LiDAR captured geometry well. And so that we can conduct centimeter level accuracy measurement. And if you want to share your insights or additional information about a specific point of an heritage or historic building, you can also add different kinds of annotation together within these 3D models. For example, text, pictures, videos, all of the introduction of the backgrounds into the models, so that you can make it a much more informative and interactive application with that heritage, cultural heritage, so that this one may have the functions of the education. And we also can input different kinds of 3D assets into the 3D models. So with that real estate industry, people may put different furniture into their home. However, for that cultural preservation part, people may also change some like one of my projects happening in China is about to do village renewal, so that the students and the designers to capture the whole village together, and they try to rip out or clip the old house and put their own new design beam model into the village to see whether the new building is suitable or built for or compatible with the whole village environments. And for those who have backgrounds or experience with Unreal Engine or any other like a relighting tool, they can also do different relighting or the color grading things with the Gaussian splatting. And these days, we can also use that SDK to integrate the 3D model, photorealistic 3D models into the game developing and also the scene editing pipelines. Here is an example coming from our Turkish partners. This one, our partner used LXO L2 Pro to do the scan of this church. So this one, he also, with one walkthrough, he got point clouds and Gaussian splats. And based on that Gaussian splats, you can do the measurement in a more intuitive way. Even though if they want to conduct a very precise measurement, they will also adopt that point clouds to do so. However, with this 3D visualized result, they can conduct like more intuitive one and show this to the clients and for those who are not so familiar with the point clouds. And here you can also get dense point clouds to draw different like floor plan and facade and different documentation for some like governmental requirements to meet that requirements. So that's one case. And another one, this one is a virtual tour thing that I mentioned. And this case is done by our Osaka, done by our Japanese partner. This case made by Active Retech. And we use Lexo L2 for scanning, LCC Studio to do the data training. And this one developed by LCC Unity SDK for interaction. And other than this kind of interaction, we also can use the LCC viewer to do some interaction. And this one is my hand, and I use a joystick to simulate the keyboard and the mouse, so that when I use the joystick to navigate, it's much more like a 3D game. And other than the virtual tool and interaction, we also have some more materials for the content creation. And this case is done by our US partners called Global Objects. And in this case, they want to do a documentary. A documentary shooting things. And so firstly, they use different devices to do the capture. And with the L2 Pro and K1, they not only get a 3D Gaussian splatting, but also point clouds. And here is the location. So before the shooting start, all the shooting crew and the director and the producer, they can use their visualized result to do location scouting. So to let all the partners and the staff know that which part need to be modified or to decorate it. And after that, we can use the tools like the Super Splat to do the editing. So in this kind of heritage, it still has some elements that are not suitable for these historic. So they just clipping the materials. And then after editing, they use Unreal Engine to do some relighting and project the scene into the LED screen. And so this one is a real virtual production pipelines. So before this LED screen, in front of this LED screen, the actors, actresses can go there and act as they are in the sites, their own sites, so that they don't need to go to their site by themselves, which is really time-saving things. And the whole crew can make different scenes shooting within 1 day. We also use this kind of technology to shoot our own intro video. And another case sharing, this one is captured in a very crowded museum. And this is me. These days, I like PhotoCam very well, and I bring it to different journey. And this one captured in Hong Kong. And at that time, there are so many people. So after that, it just ripped out all the moving people. And even with some highly reflective surfaces like these glasses boxes, we can see its result is really good. And without any cleaning up works. And another case, this one is a 3D GAN. These are two 3D GANs done by our Korean partners. They use this to scan a village, and it's a relatively large village. And he designed some like the running games in this site. And this one is not only an immersive or interactive 3D game. They also develop it with some joystick, which is quite like a sports game. So to sum up 3D visualization vs traditional methods, I think there are some tangible value and intangible value. So first, we try to make this one much more efficient and reduce the more labor and lower travel costs, so that you can use the visualization result to communicate with different stakeholders, departments, and customers and users. And still, you get high precision data for preservation purposes or measurement purposes. On the other hand, intangible value is that it's a quite smooth workflow, so that you don't need to learn 3D Gaussian splatting the concept from the very beginning. You can use this technology by learning it within 5 minutes. And it's still a very good illustration methods because as I mentioned, compared with the 360 videos or mesh videos, the Gaussian splatting, I think, is the best solution for the visualization and illustration. You can use different ways to add additional information to make it a much more informative one. And that is still, it's with minimal disruption to the operations. As I said, you don't need to go to the museum when it's empty, and you can go there with all the people moving there. So it's minimal disruption it's also have that minimal disruption to the museum or the heritage operations. And so for all different kinds of possibilities, we also welcome the developers in the markets, developers, creators in the markets to use different tools to capture data and use LCC Studio or the output to create more different interesting things. So today is my presentation, and you can also contact XGRIDS with this scan code, QR code, and also to our website. And then, let me see if there are any questions. And I also welcome Jasper back and to answer that. Maybe, yeah, you make me safe here. Yes. So let's choose several questions to answer. I've seen many of them. Let me see. Does platform support annotation? And okay. Here we have Jordan. Does the platform support annotations and animations? So I suppose that to some extent I answer your question. Firstly, we support annotation and animation. If you want to record a video, you can use the keyframe functions in LCC Studio, so that you can do to some extent the animation. And how is your experience, Jasper, with that annotation and animations?
Yeah, like you said, it's perfect for annotations. You can just add an annotation in the LCC Studio software, and that's no problem. Animations, well, as far as I know, it's not possible yet to import a 3D model with an animation and have it animated. But like you said, you can, of course, create your own video, like the one I showed, and the ones you showed.
Yes, so I think the annotation functions is very important for cultural preservation or the heritage things. It's not only for the communication or some part. They also making notes, I suppose. Yes, and how about another questions? How does PhotoCAN and LCC handle differences in exposure and white balance when you scan the inside of a building and move outside into a brighter environment, or vice versa? Do areas of high contrast become too dark or too light? Do you have any experience with this kind of thing, Jasper?
Yes, you can go from the indoors to outdoors, and the camera will adjust for that. And I expect that it's easier because the camera does have a setting. You can use it for either a nature setting, which I would see as outdoors, and an indoor setting. So those two are separate. And I expect it would be better to combine two different Gaussian splats into one at a later stage, if you know what I mean. So I think it would be best to create it in two pieces, but if you want, it will work, but it might not be the best result.
Yes, for me, I have many experience with this from a very bright area to the indoor area. So in the past, the Lexos scanners and K1, they don't have the dynamic range can be changed or exposure to be setted. But with AutoCAM, we do have some improvements of this kind of function. So if you enter in interior environments from outdoor, you should actually, from the scanning techniques part, you can like move slowly from outdoor to the indoor case, or from indoor to outdoor case. And we also try to make the dynamic range can be changed automatically. So try to solve this kind of problem. And sometimes if we have some shadows in the cross section of the outdoor and indoor, especially the doors case, and we can also use some clipping box or the brushes to edit that areas. Sometimes we have some shadow there. To be honest. And another question, Mindy, I would love to share some projects and demos later on too. I have worked in cave system and museum extension. Oh, thank you so much. You can send me emails or to DM me in LinkedIn, and I'm very happy to accept any of the cases. And these days we welcome all kinds of like cases from all around the world, and maybe we can make them into very interesting projects. And another one from Ben, our old friend, could the AutoCAM maybe output a point cloud sometimes in the future, even if we know the splat is the priority? It can still be helpful to get a good enough point cloud. This one is a very good question. So I would ask another question. So for you, Jasper, what's kind of purpose for you to use point clouds?
What purpose to use point clouds for? Well, basically for measurements first. But the way it is right now, you can do measurements inside the LCC Studio, even though you are looking at a Gaussian splat. It is still possible to do a measurement of either 2 points or in a section. You can do. It might be good enough to just work with the Gaussian splat and the LCC Studio. If it comes to good enough, that might be just enough.
So what is good enough point cloud for?
That's a good question.
So maybe for different projects requirements. So for those who have like centimeter level accuracy or millimeter accuracy, a denser point clouds may play a very important role, right?
For sure, but when it comes to centimeter accuracy, I think that's doable.
Yes. Okay. And I think I can keep this question unanswered with that whether maybe output a point cloud sometime in the future. We will see. We can expect that. I cannot promise anything at this moment. And let's move on to another one. I think this one is still a very interesting one. Are there any ideas on how 3D could become a business model in this area? I think this one is Jasper's field. I suppose that your experience have already shows that the possibility of do the reality capture and make some money. And can you share some experience about this question?
For sure. I think that a lot of monuments and cultural heritage is also used for tourism, like the cafe in Amersfoort. I mean, it has a dual function. It's still actively being used. And when I went to create this demo, which for me was just a technical demo and to see what the PortalCam could do, they said, well, wow, can we use it for our commercial use because we want to promote the cafe? And I said, of course, So it has several business cases. It's not just for preservation, but it can be used for communication, for presentations. So it has a lot of use cases.
Yes, and for us, other than the cultural preservation, people may also use that for real estate property representation and display. Which do help the sales.
For sure. yeah, it's a very unique way to display a house.
Yeah, and also it saves save time and money for the shooting crew and filming groups. Yeah.
Yeah. I think flying with a drone through a house or a monument will be a thing of the past.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I got a long one here.
Oh,
I found that the users address the answer each other's question in the comment area, which is
right,
a really good things that
great. Less
it's
work
like
for
that
us.
in this yeah in this webinar it's like a community people that just the contribute their insights into the case. So let me find some question here. Ah, can you put your tools and the presentation behind a password for security concerns or with the pay well for heritage sites to make money?
Right. Well, I know for a fact that you can put a password on your link, on your URL.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there are ways to put a paywall before that, but it would use, I think, a third party. I'm not sure if that can be done with the LCC solution. I'm not. I
Mm-hmm.
don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
Mm. Yeah, so firstly, at this moment, the LCC Studio provides a publish function so that you can
Yeah.
publish your data, you process the data to the server as a link that you can share with your friend and customer with or without password. So this is the first thing. And the second, that all the processing happens locally so that you can keep all the data by yourself to keep that data privacy concern. And
Okay.
if these days we also have some partners all around the world, some tools like Arrival Space and Super Splat. They can also host that heritage sites data sets. And but I don't know whether they have the functions of making these virtual tour things as a charging services. I don't know. So maybe in the future there will be maybe a HoloLens or some VR headsets may have a 3D museums or like a 3D books so that you can bring your data scanned or data processed by LCC into new ways of charging services. Maybe,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a good idea. And then let's move on to another one. How digital technologies have been applied for architectural heritage
Oh,
risk management. Oh, the Edward give a very good example here. A systemic literature review. Ah, this one applied in architectural heritage risk. Yeah, so I think the risk management still are very specific application scenarios. So Jasper, do you see any like the specific application scenarios for the 3D visualization or the heritage preservation?
could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
I think the question is that would you see any specific application scenarios such as the risk management? Yeah, so maybe they may compare the difference between the different phase of scanning to see whether it's dangerous or whether it's need to be
Right.
yeah
Well,
to
yes, of course. Well, I think that you could create a scan on. Well, let's say you create a scan each month of a
mm-hmm,
monument or a building. You can
mm-hmm,
see the things that are degrading. And well, looking
mm-hmm,
to the future, I think that if we connect AI to a digital twin or a scan, and it becomes aware of its surroundings and it sees the differences, etc., I think that's basically where we're headed.
mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think for not only the architectural heritage, but also for that communication or the documentation, so that you can also use the scanner to do like different phase or timeline scanning.
Yes.
Yes, and another one. In Unity 3D environment, can the collision apply to LCC files automatic or should we do that manually? Oh, that one is a very technical question. So from my background, I'm not a technical guide, but I can answer it to some extent. Firstly, we provide that Unity plugin for the integration, and LCC do provide collision files with processed data, and so with that SDK, you can adopt that collision automatically. So the answer is yes. And for how to do that in details, you can go to the XGRIDS developer platform for further details and the documentation. You can download the plugin there and follow the documentation. Thank you for these questions, and let's move on to another one. And this one. What's the max picture from DSLR drawn HD we can add in LCC in the scan? I may answer this question. Firstly, we have HD enhancement functions to support Lexo series scanner at this moment. So for L2 Pro and Lexo K1, they can use HD enhancement with 500 photos in one scan. And the PhotoCam itself is not support HD enhancement at this moment. But if you really want this function, I will try my best to push the engineering team to make this happen. And I also received some requests from the markets to make this limitation of 500 photos to do the HD enhancement and the area ground map fusion with more photos. So I really understand this kind of requirements. So you really want to more details or more areas. Yeah, thank you for this feedback. And let's move on to another one. Oh, it's a common question. Is the live recorded? The answer is yes. You can view the recorded version after this live streaming finished. And we will also try to add it and add some captions with the video and post the long video to YouTube so that you can share this with your colleagues and someone that you want, let them know that how this solution is amazing and affecting other people. Thank you. And another one. Can you export precise orthographic photos? I don't think so, but maybe Jasper, you have some experience with other tools. Like you mentioned, you can do some section with the point clouds, right?
Yeah, well, I have some experience with Blender, and if you import a PLI file in Blender and with the correct add-on, then you could basically use Blender to create an orthographic view.
Yeah. So with that, the LCC or PortalCam solution, we do have like different perspective changing functions within the editor and the viewer. So it's not definitely orthographic photos, but you can choose that perspective to see from that direction, I suppose. But I'm not sure from my perspective. I'm not sure whether it's good enough for you to do the documentation.
Right.
Yes. And another one. Does PhotoCam can work with L2 Pro or K1 in the future? Very good question. Very good question. And we will see. We'll see. I cannot promise, but if the requirements or request is quite it bring about by many of the people, I think the technical team or engineers may think about it. And another one for larger size, is it possible to combine scans with the PhotoCam to make a combined 3DGS model? I think it's about that to merge different scans together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the question.
So, yeah. So it's also important for you, Jasper.
Well, I'd say you could use a different. I know that you could do it with Super Splat. But for now, I don't know if LCC Studio supports that natively.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
And yes, also the LCC Studio do have a map fusion function, but still at this moment it only supports a Lexo series scanner. And yes, we will see. Yeah, so it's it depends on how quickly we can update. Yes. And another one, this one is quite challenging one. Meta is starting to work 3D GS. You use the Meta Quest headset to scan a space and upload to process in the library. It's better version, but will become better. Looks really good. So Jasper, did you have any experience the Meta Quest? I suppose that app called Hyperscape, right?
Yeah, I've seen it in videos. I haven't used it myself, but I don't think it will match up with the quality of the portal cam. I mean, the camera on a Quest 3 headset, it's okay, but it's not specifically made to be a high quality camera. And that's a big difference with the portal cam, which, I mean, there's cam in the name, so that's suggests that it has a good camera. And that's basically what you need for a better image quality.
Yeah, so basically speaking, for Gaussian Splats, better input, better output. Yeah, and another point is that so from the very beginning, I was scared by that data quality, brought about by the Hyperscape, and after the testing, our team also test that function, and we think that the user experience and interface is very good, very intuitive, and you can see the whole scene and get a capture that it's like what you get is what you see, and it's very intuitive, very user friendly, and also it's a consumer grade product. But for me, especially for professional scans or reality capture, it's not good enough. Not only in the data quality perspective, but also the scanning methods. For example, as I mentioned, for the cultural preservation, the heritage, and the historic building, you may meet a lot of different scanning conditions. For example, very tall sculpture, or you need to go to a narrow corridor. Even those areas, people cannot go through. Yeah, so that's why the mobile scanners, which can be mounted in different devices, for example, extension port, or the drone, or even car, so that you can make that scanner into some very narrow areas, and you will not make your head under the bed or go to the roof pods to do the scan. So MetaSpace or the hyperspace or the VR headsets is a very good way to do the personal memory keeping, but it's not for professional uses such as the heritage preservation or AEC industry or the film shooting, by which you can use the data for various applications. So that's my answer. So we will have different directions. Yeah, and another one. Will you start offering cloud processing services for XGRIDS data? Good one, but we will see. Sorry to repeat this kind of answer, but I just cannot make any promise for some future functions until you see that functions. Yeah, so people may know that XGRIDS like improve very quickly. So that if you do have some wishes, do let me know. Do let the team know, and we take all this valuable feedback as very important feedback. And we always have many of them. Let me see. Another one. What about very bright windows when scanning indoors with the PhotoCam? Do we have any similar experience with this one?
I did a couple of rooms indoors and did not have any problems so far. So I don't think so, but I'm not sure. I mean, I've only been testing with PortalCam for a few months myself now. So I haven't run into any trouble yet. Let's keep it like that.
Yes, and if you have like any of the case, so that maybe you can share with the social media and the community. And these days we also have like several cases, especially for those agents, real estate agent. They do have this kind of requirements or this kind of purposes to to record a property, and the buyers really want to know whether what's the windows seams through the indoor areas to outdoor. So we must keep that windows, that bright windows clear. And you can go to the XGRIDS YouTube channels to find specific videos. We do have some examples to show this kind of case. And thank you for this question. And let's move on to another one. Which are the main difference feature over the LCC Studio license types over the PhotoCam? I can also answer this. The basic license these days with the basic model generation functions, and the premium would include several premium functions such as the HD enhancement, area ground map fusions, and we also have some like the spatial AI functions in the future. So for those who only want to keep some areas documented with the visualization tools, you can only choose the basic license. If you are professionals to capture many of the cases, capture very large scale cases, I would do recommend that premium license with all these functions together. Yeah, so that's the answer. And you can also go to the website to find a full description of the different license. And another one, is there any thoughts on how to address reconstruction quality and the geometric accuracy when the capture image set is sparse, as is common when recording fragile artifacts or hard to reach areas? Do you have any like experience with this one, Jasper?
Not with Portal Cam.
And you can also tell us with other tools.
No. Well, no, I understand, but I think no, I don't have anything sensible to say about this.
How to address reconstruction quality and the geometric accuracy when the capture image set is sparse?
I'd say when you scan slower and up close, it would improve in quality somewhat, but then it's also saying hard to reach areas. So
fragile artifacts or hard to reach area. For me, we also provide some scanning techniques other than the basic ABC scanning steps. So firstly, more denser scanning paths may get a better reconstruction quality. And if you for that hard to reach area, we also use like something like the extension pole to have different direction and heights. For me, that's the case, especially for the historic building. If you go to that narrow space and the roof parts, we always use that extension pole to do so. Yeah, so for me, I think the extension pole is the most useful accessory at this moment for me. Yes, and still several of them. One last question. A lot of Gaussian Splat viewers started to support LOD. We come to a time where we can view 100 billion splats directly in a web browser. Is PhotoCam among with LCC ready for so much data? What is the current limit for the device and the software? Would you like to answer, Jasper?
Well, that's a very technical question, and I'm very sorry, but the most technical questions are for you. The only thing I know is that LCC XGRIDS has its own LCC format of Gaussian Splats, which is a lot easier on your system than the PLY file. But
yes, so especially for web viewers, web browser to keep the data compressed. Or keep the file size small is a very important thing. So not many other Gaussian Splat viewers adopt this kind of strategy. LCC viewer also adopts it. So you can use LCC format as a proprietary format, which compressed a lot, as well as adopts the LOD strategy. So 100 million splats is not a deal. It's not a thing for LCC, because actually we do use LCC solution to scan a very large scale cases, more than 100 million or maybe 1,000 million splats. So compared with some small areas or other devices, you can use the device and the software to capture as long as you expect. But we still have some limitation. It's not about the splats itself. It's not about the data file size. It's about the scanning and the processing. So the limitation of the scanning time is that L2 Pro, one battery is one battery life. One battery it's lasting at least 90 minutes. But for me, I will keep every scan less than 30 minutes. So that to combine them together is relatively easy. And the limitation for Map Fusion is that you can merge at least 10 scans together with every scan less than 30 minutes, which means that at most you can scan 300 minutes for a relatively large scale cases as a whole. You get a comprehensive model. So that's the limitation of the hardware and the software at this moment. We always try to break the limitation and the boundary, but the scanning time and the data merged at this moment is the standard that we think is reliable and robust. So maybe in the future, we will try to push this limitation into a new level. Yeah, so that's the thing. And I suppose that we've already answered most of the questions here. So if you got any question about the price, I must say that we have like different channels and dealers around the world. You can reach out your local dealers, and you can also go to Jasper's team, InformARbv, if you are in his area, and we also have other partners in the world. So you can go to XGRIDS website to find the local dealer, and you will have different like the prices locally. So someone may also ask whether the tariff things may affect the shipment. The answer is no at this moment, but maybe in the future or in the US, the answer may change, or I don't know. But I promise that if you got the other, if you pre-ordered or make any order with any of our partners, we will try our best to ship that things into your hand and place. And thank you, Jasper, again. That we finished all the questions here, and I just hope that we have another 2 questions to discuss. Yes, the first is that, so other than all this kind of technology, we talk about application in heritage and historic building. Do you see any new technology can be applied into this field?
New technologies. Well, everybody's hyping about AI. So I guess when you combine 3D scanning with AI and you get an AI that's aware of its environment, basically, I think that's a big thing that's coming. You're not just scanning the space, but you can even say, how many chairs are inside, or, how can I organize my room so that as many people fit inside. You can ask your AI about the space you've scanned, anything.
Yes. And these days, somebody may also talking about the relationship between the generative AI content and the reality capture things. And as I mentioned in another, like the panel discussion, I say that the generative AI may help the reality capture. As Jasper mentioned, maybe they can let us or let the scanner know more about the environment, so that the reconstruction algorithm can have a better performance. And on the other hand, the reality capture things, even because that the reality capture can give you more and more efficient ways to capturing data, so that data can also be the source of the algorithm training. Yeah. So that's the thing. I think the generative AI and reality capture can help each other. And another point is that generative AI is become more and more easy to get access to. It's very cheap, but the reality capture thing is unique, especially the day and the time you capture the heritage. So that thing is unique. It's totally different from other generative AI things, and it's real. So it should be precious.
Yep.
Yes. And another question is that another question to talk about is that so other than the heritage and the cultural preservation, do you see any other application direction for 3D Gaussian splatting, this new technology?
Like, wow, that's a lot. But one field I see mainly would be for law enforcement, for instance. If you have a crime scene or there was a major traffic accident, you can scan the scene and still see, if a car was speeding, because you can actually measure the braking distance, etc. So I think, and then as well, the data being stored locally and being processed locally is important for parties like that. So I think that would be a very important and potentially good use case.
Yes. And for me, so I may see great potential with that 3D games.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe 3D videos or 3D live streaming. So maybe in the
Yeah.
future we are not in a flat frame like this, or maybe we can sit in the same room like that. We are in the same room. So virtually and
Four-dimensional.
yeah, it's like the real metaverse. Yeah. So to sum up today's our takeaways would be several of them. So first is that how we can use that the new technology with the heritage preservation, and how the mobile scanning solution, how easy the solution can be. And I also share several experience with the solution and accessories and the difference between the methods and the application direction. Hope all of you can get some insights that you expected. And thanks, Jasper, again for accepting my invitation for this
You're
serious
welcome.
webinar.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thank you for all the audience today, and thank you for your question. And we will meet in another webinars. Yeah.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
可以通过调整切片包围和四周按键调整切片范围，可以通过中心按